Long way, get this shit a long way, this shit a long way. Long way, hit it long way, 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 shit, long way, long shit, long way, long way, long way, long way, long way, long way, get shit a long way. Gotta get the shit a long way, get the shit a long way, gotta get the shit a long way, finish rich, yeah. Gotta get the shit a long way, get the shit a long way. She don't really understand, man. Gotta know what she don't really understand, man. Gotta get a meal, but she don't understand. She be tripping every day, she be tripping every way. But I gotta get this shit a long way, gotta get this shit a long way. Tryna get money every single way, tryna get money every single day, get money every single way, every day. Every day we gotta get paid, yeah. Every day we gotta get paid, yeah. I'm feeling like we be the new slaves, yeah. No, we gotta finish rich, no, we gotta finish rich. Got a new bitch, she don't understand rich, she don't understand, she's gotta get rich. She don't understand, sometimes we gotta hit lit, no, we ain't hit lit. Tryna get the long way, yeah. Tryna get the shit the long way, yeah. Coach is tryna wrap up a entree, yeah. Told you the other day that did my phone strong. We gon' shoot the long way, we gon' get the long way, yeah. Yeah, get the shit long way. My bitch be trippin' back and forth like a phone way. My name is Tori, I ain't playing games, so I'm done Tori. Yesterday she told me that she bout to leave, I said fuck it, bitch, we gonna get some money. I said fuck it, bitch, I'm about to get some money. So what I do today, I went and got some money, yeah. Cause we gon' get this shit the long way, long way, we gon' get the long way, yeah. Back and forth like the pong way, yeah. Man, I'ma get this shit the long way, get this shit the long way. Just the only way today, because they go with shit's crazy. We gotta wear a mask, we the new slaves. We be wearing this shit like every day. We be okay, we gon' be okay, they gon' be okay, they gon' be okay for me, yeah. So we gon' get this shit the long way, we gon' get this shit long way, we gon' get this shit the long way. We gon' get this shit the long way, yeah, we get this shit the long way, yeah. Cause we gon' be okay, we gon' be okay, yeah. We gon' get the long way, yeah.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Savings Minus Debt. I'm your host and founder of SMD, LJ Young. Hold on. And I am here to share my gift. What is my gift? What does SMD do? At the highest level I can think of right now. What's up, Andre? Mentor friend. What's going on? Top Shelf Chuck. The best thing I could tell you, the top thing I'm thinking right now SMD does, SMD helps you find the psychological version of yourself. How do I know this? Because that is what I have done. That's who you're listening to right now. I have found the psychological version of myself. You're probably thinking, well, what is that? What? I'm just telling you something at a very high level that if you don't do the work, you'll never understand what I mean. Okay, that's the best way I can describe it to you. Anyway, but bringing it back down, I have discovered that capitalism is psychological. How did I discover this, says everyone? I'm sure. That's the common question. Well, I was once what is called a debt slave. People that believe they own things with no money of their own. Those are called debt slaves. People that believe they can invest while having student loan debt, believing they own the equity in a mortgaged house, believing they can buy a car with a car loan. Those are called debt slaves. I was one of them. Student loan debt, six-figure earner, nice car, nice place to live, high-rise building, all that crap. I was a debt slave. Making six figures, but damn near double that in debt, a little bit over double that in debt. All that meant was I was a high-paid six-figure earning debt slave. The bank woke me up. How'd they wake me up? I went to apply for a loan, but this time they denied me. Long story short, I was like, wait a minute, but I have a great job, good credit, and never missed a payment. But this time you're denying me. Something's wrong, because the reason why I was in all that debt, because I was following the credit rules. The more I went in debt, they would reward me with a credit score, which always, the credit score kept my focus. Totally forgetting about what was happening in the background, going deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. That's the purpose of credit. That's the tool of it. Nothing's wrong with it, and I'm not against credit. I'm just telling you something. That's the purpose of credit. Keep your eyes on the credit score while you dig yourself deeper in debt behind you. You're not even looking. That was me. Then I said, that doesn't make sense. I only have this much debt because I followed all the credit rules. That's the only reason. I was like, but this time, this is the click for me. This time they said, nope, you can't borrow no more money. I was like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I followed all the rules, just like you said, and everything's okay. No, it's not. Then it woke me up. Found Dave Ramsey, got out of debt. I followed Dave Ramsey until the point to where he said, pay off everything but the mortgage. And then when you get to the mortgage, start putting away money for retirement and this and that. It's like, wait a minute. According to the calculator, if you have a mortgage, you have no money. Okay, see you later, Dave. I'm out of here. You're just talking business from that point on, because if it doesn't make mathematical sense in the business world, that's called business. This is where he's going to send you to his Vesta Pros or whatever, and they're going to convince you that you can save money in retirement while having a mortgage. And then you're going to pay him for it too, to do something that's mathematically impossible. But that's business. Nothing's wrong with it. That's how it works. I thank Dave Ramsey. He is my mentor. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't even be here. But at that point, that's just business. I don't really care how they do it. That's their business. But for me, that's where I left, because it didn't make mathematical sense. And voila, look what I found. The psychological version of myself. I now understand that capitalism is psychological. I now understand that our economy is positive and negative. You get to choose which side of it you want to be on. You get to choose. All you have to do is trust the calculator. That is it. That's totally it. With this knowledge, you know what else I understand? The economy is you, debt slaves. It's you. Everything is you. You're the currency, debt slaves. It's you. It doesn't matter the paper you see. That's why the intro to every video is so strong, because all that currency you see falling in the intro of every video, that's all psychological for you guys, debt slaves. It's for your vision to make you pretend something is there. When the economy is doing flip-flops, you think I pay attention to the TV? No, I pay attention to you. How do you respond when something happens in the economy? Me and people like me watch you. See what you're going to do when something happens and how you guys react. You guys do it every day. As soon as something happens, you guys get the trick, making videos about it and texting each other about it. You guys tell everything we need to know. You do. You could be holding money in your hand, and guess what? It's not even there. And remember, everything I'm saying, I can prove. Hold $100. Listen, hold $100 in your hand, and I want you to open up the calculator app with the other. I want you to put in 100 minus your car payment and then hit equal. Now, listen to me closely. According to the calculator, do you have $100 in your hand? The answer is no. It doesn't exist for you, debt slaves, because you are the currency. You can't be the currency and own currency at the same time. You can't do that. So when you understand how this works, I call it I just made up this word called alienese because it's a different language now. But you know what the gift is? The gift is that I get to speak. I speak both because I was once a debt slave, so I know how to speak debt slave when needed. But what debt slaves don't know, there's a psychological part to capitalism. You guys don't know that. Even when I say it out loud, you don't know that. And that's how it's supposed to be. And that's how it will always be. I don't care. Listen, I understand the rules. I know where I live. I live in the United States of America. Yep. And they say these are the rules to this. Okay. I don't know how long it took to establish all this. I know what the history books say and stuff, but when you understand how it really works, you're like, oh, okay. Like, here's an example. The number one currency in the world is the US dollar. Did you guys know that? The most powerful currency in the world is the US dollar. You think everybody just agreed to that? You think they, oh, okay, well, why your dollar, not my dollar? You guys argue about bullshit like that all the time. You know what I said to myself? Damn, well, how long did it take to establish that? And how? That's what I say to myself. I'm like, okay, whatever. This is the rules. But once you understand the system is positive and negative, and the choice was always yours, and then you get on the positive side of the economy, everything changes. Everything. Your entire life will change. Not just debt. Your entire life is going to change forever. Those of you guys that follow me, you guys clearly see that I do things that nobody else does. I say things that nobody else does. Why do you think that? You think I'm crazy or something? It's like this. When you come across me and he's like, this dude is crazy, but every time he says whatever he's saying, his math is correct. Then who's the crazy one? Here's another example. Open up, if you believe you're a homeowner, open up the calculator, put in your mortgage payment minus your mortgage balance. The balance means what you have left to pay on the house, okay? Your mortgage payment minus your mortgage balance, and hit equal. Now, we're both sitting there looking at a negative number, but you believe you're a homeowner. Who's the crazy one? I don't think I'm crazy. I see a large negative number, yet you believe you're a homeowner. That's what it looks like. But that's called alienese. You guys don't know that. Because without you, the housing market couldn't exist. It's you, debt slaves, you. With this gift, I also understand that this economy doesn't work without people. People. This economy cannot. Humans are the only species that consume unnecessarily. It only works with people. So there must be people that understand. There must be the very few of us that understand that capitalism is psychological, and the majority must remain not knowing because it's you. There must be people on both sides. That's my purpose. I'm here because all humans die. No matter how. Hey, listen. No matter how much money you have, nothing's going to stop you from dying. Okay. So there must be people here to replace the people that know, because that's how it works. People that know also know the economy is you, debt slaves. Everything is you. I'm here to help the people that need to know. Be on the positive side of the economy, the positive side. Everything is positive and negative, debt slaves. So when you guys use the words, when you're using words inside of the financial game, like investing, equity, compound interest. You don't know those words when you're using it inside of kind of some kind of banking mathematical terminology. Those words are positive and negative. And if you're on the negative side of the economy, you're talking about negative equity. You're talking about negative compound interest. But you don't know that. When you pay interest on a car loan, that's called negative compound interest because you're paying it. The bank receives the interest you pay. That's called positive compound interest. Same thing with your mortgage. When you hear people say things like, hey, stop throwing away money on rent, they're not finishing those sentences. You know what? Instead, sell the next 30 years of your life to the bank. They don't never finish that sentence. That paragraph. Additional part to the statement. You would wake up, you'd be like, well, what'd you say? Sell the next 30 years of my life to the bank. What do you mean by that? Yeah, that's what happens when you get a mortgage. You sell the next 30 years of your life to the bank. Listen, promising them money that you don't even know if you're going to ever make. You mean to tell me you know the day you sign those mortgage papers that you're going to be making that same amount for the next 30 years? Because when you sign the papers, that's what you're telling the bank. Hey, bank, you see this mortgage payment I'm making right now? Yeah. I'm going to give that amount to you for the next 30 years of my life. You don't even know that, but the bank does. The bank knows that. The probability of you living in that house for the next 30 years is very low. Why? Because you thought you could buy a house with a mortgage, with student loan debt older than the mortgage. If you have an FHA mortgage, man, you're never going to own nothing. FHA mortgages are specifically designed for people that don't know you can't buy a house while having student loan debt. You can't borrow money and then take the degree and go buy something without paying the people that get. No, you can't do that. If you and all your friends have FHA mortgages and all believe that you're homeowners with mortgages, that's why you guys are all friends. If you and all your friends got finance cars and making car payments, that's why you guys are all friends. Now let's get to the title of this video. Now, Andre gave me this, and I am going to read it from the positive side of the economy, okay? So you guys can understand the psychological version of it. So hold on, let me see. Present. How do I do this? Oh, I should have had this ready. Oh, share screen. Chrome tab. Okay. Okay. Here's yet another story of a person that is deep in student loan debt, okay? They always come out with these it seems like, I don't know. Anyway, it's another story about a person deep in student loan debt. Now, let's start with the title. Okay, we're going to start with the title so you can really understand the purpose of these type of articles. Meet a first generation attorney trying to get you hyped up because he did something the first time in the family or something, whatever, right? With $347,000 in student loan debt. They get people with large student loan debts articles like this so you can feel good about yours. So if you read this and you only have 50,000, you're going to feel much better about you having $50,000 of student loan debt versus his 347,000. It's designed to, that's why they always pick doctors and attorneys, because they have the biggest ones. Okay. Debt who can't land a job, he can't get a job, and says there are a substantial number of people like me that are being forgotten. So it's somebody's fault that he can't get a job. He's an attorney, but it's somebody else's fault that he can't get a job. It's something else. And then there's other people like me, just to let you know that, hey, we're all in it together. It's all of us. We're all like, no, only the people that believe that. When I went and got my degree, never once did I believe that my degree is the only thing I needed to land a good job. I knew I had to put in some work, not just my degree. I had to show the employer that I was serious about working there. So what I did was just sharpen my skills, sharpen my virtualization skills till I became the best. That's what I did. I just didn't assume that my degree alone was gonna land me the job. No, I knew I had to put in some work. You ain't just gonna walk up to an employer, hey, look at my piece of paper. Steve, excuse me, Steve Pederanzi, I can't pronounce his name, thought going to law school was the best decision for him. That's what he thought, okay? But no, he didn't stop to think, well, I don't have no money to pay for it. He could have made a decision and said, you know what? Law school would be good for me, but I have no money to pay for it. He could have made that decision too. And who told him that that was the best decision? Okay. After graduating from college and worked as a social worker, now he's 32, wanted to continue helping people, and saw a law degree as the next big step in doing so. So he decided to help people by becoming a lawyer. Okay. As a first generation student, he said he was frequently, now I'm reading slow on purpose so I can really understand what the article is trying to get to tell you guys, because this article is for debt slaves. Okay. Frequently advised by attorneys and those around him that pursuing a law degree would leave him well off. Okay, a first generation student, he said he was frequently advised by attorneys and those around him that pursuing a law degree would leave him well off. They didn't even tell him the truth. That's messed up, man. They didn't tell him the part that all the other attorneys, hey, but by the way, I'm buried in student loan debt. Ain't that messed up? They could have told him, hey, by the way, yeah, I know you can make some money as a lawyer, but guess what? What? Your ass is gonna be buried in student loan debt for damn near the rest of your life. You think they told him that part? Nope. They said be one. Come on, you'll be well off. And he believed it. And keep a roof over his head even while in school. So he thought taking out student loans would be worth it. Wow. Those guys they probably walked away laughing. Yeah, that's the thing to do. Yeah, go do it. He's going to be right with us. And that's what happened. He's with him now. I grew up in a working class family, and I don't want to wonder when the next meal. Oh my God, these boo stories, man. That's the meant to get you guys heartstrings, man. That has nothing to do with his student loan debt. Nothing. I don't want to worry about putting food on the table. Oh my God. This is just, man. And with law school, everyone said that I'll never have to worry about those things. Look at everybody. Hey man, you get this law degree, man. You won't have to worry about a thing. That is messed up, man. Come on. Come be with us, man. Come be with us. But after graduating law school in 2007, Pederzani today has $347,000 worth of student loan debt that keeps growing. Oh my God. Mm, 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 mm. Oh, okay. Let me see. Law which allowed. Okay. Okay. He took out graduate plus loans to attend Seattle. Oh, that's in my city, Seattle University. I know exactly where that's at. Okay. It looks like it costs some money too, if you ever see the building, which allowed him to cover the full cost of tuition, but medical complications with his fiance delayed him from taking the bar exam, and their collective incomes took a major hit since his fiance could not work. He thought about none of that. He forgot about life. Things in life happen, but as a result, Pederzani could no longer afford Seattle rent. He never could afford it. He never could afford it in the first place. It says no longer. He never could. Okay, don't think that rent. So he temporarily moved to Nebraska to live with his fiance's family. Damn, he had to move in with her parents. Holy crap. Now, they now live in Albuquerque, New Mexico, where Pederzani took and passed the bar exam, and they're currently using rental assistance and supplemental nutrition assistant program, Graduate Plus loans. Oh, they're using, okay. Graduate Plus loans, the type of loan Pederzani took out, are the most expensive a federal loan with the highest, oh my God, with the highest interest rate now at 7.54% on $347,000. Pederzani is never paying that amount of money off. He's going to be, check this out. What you guys don't understand in this article, Pederzani is going to be a debt slave until he's dead. He's going to have that over his head his entire life. And Pederzani's not alone. Many of you have given up, psychologically have given up on ever paying off your student loan debt. You're going to be debt slaves until you're dead. Do you understand that? That's what that means. If you're a person that has totally given up, that believing that you're never going to pay off your student loan debt, you're going to die a debt slave. That's what happens. You can watch as many videos as I make. You'll never understand what I'm talking about ever, because you can't. You're a debt slave. These loans are included in President Joe Biden's plan to forgive up to $20,000 in student debt for federal borrowers making under 100, blah, blah, blah. But the relief is currently on pause due to two federal courts that have so far blocked the relief in response to lawsuits filed by conservative groups seeking to permanently throw out the, oh man. Do you know all you got to do is just pay off your student loan debt, and you won't have to worry about any of that jibber jabber? That's jibber jabber. That's noise. Do you guys understand that? Hey, it's going through the courts and the conservatives and the Democrats. That's jibber jabber. That's just noise. You don't have to be part of that. Pay your student loan debts off, and you won't care what they do. They do that for debt slaves, because guess what, debt slaves? That's never going to happen. The only way to get out of student loan debt, you have to pay them off. There is no other way. The sooner you accept that fact, the quicker you'll do it. Regardless, Pederzani said he had no problem paying back the amount he borrowed. Yes, he does. He doesn't have it to pay it back. In fact, he wants to, but he said he wished more people and the president will recognize that high-paying jobs don't benefit everyone who pursue them. Whose fault is that? That's your fault, Pederzani. That's not the president's fault. Somebody should have told you. You're a grown-up. There are people who would find $10,000 in relief from Joe Biden as miraculous, Pederzani said, but there there are a substantial number of people like me that are being forgotten. We're being left behind. No, you're not. You have the potential with a law degree to make six figures. How come you're not doing it? That's your problem. They paid, listen, they paid for the degree so you can get this law degree. Now, what are you going to do with it? Go make the six figures that's what you're supposed to do, and then pay them back their money. But it's their fault because you're not doing what you're supposed to do. That's their fault. Paying off student loans is the last thing on my mind right now. You know what? Do you know how happy the government is when they hear people say that? Paying off student loans is the last thing on my mind right now. Cha-ching, that's called money. That's called interest. That's bread. They want it to be the last thing on your mind. That's on purpose. They make the interest really, really low so you think you're not losing anything, but you guys don't understand the long game. It doesn't low interest across your entire life. That's big money. That's forever money. Peterzani said he chose to take out student loans to cover the full cost of attendance because he was under the assumption he would get hired once graduating and make enough income to pay the loans off. There hardly seems to be the case. That's hardly been the case for him. After delaying his bar exam, he reached out to his alma mater for assistance in a job hunt to no avail. Peterzani, you're supposed to do it yourself. All you got to do is look in the mirror. That's the person that's supposed to be doing it, not your alma mater, not the people that told you this. And debt slaves. If you believe going to college to getting a degree that's going to be a guaranteed job, you have a problem. That's a problem. He was able to work as a clerk at a personal injury firm for a short time, but moved to New Mexico during the pandemic and jobs were in short supply. He's just talking about life, people. He's just talking about life. Since he's making it sound like it's just him too. Since then, he hasn't been able to keep a steady income while he is on an income-driven payment program that allowing him to make oh my God. Monthly payments, the interest is still accruing. Yes, sure is. And said it'd take a lottery win or buried treasure to get out from under it. He's thrown in the towel. Peterzani is now owned for the rest of his life. That's what you guys don't hear. If you've given up on ever paying off your student loan debt, you are now consider yourself owned until you're dead. We're not okay. We're not doing okay, Peterzani said. However, whoever told you that lawyers have instant tickets to the middle class, that maybe existed 10 or 20 years ago, but that doesn't exist anymore. It's not the same. No, that has never existed. Ever. The idea that those who pursue law degrees will instantly be successful, that's your problem believing that. That's a belief. And I would never believe, hey, everybody that becomes a lawyer is instant. I would never believe something like that. And therefore don't need any student debt relief is one Biden has touted, saying on numerous occasions that those who got advanced degrees from prestigious institutions like Harvard or the University of Pennsylvania didn't need loan forgiveness. Maybe they worked out a deal with the colleges. Hey, if I say this, you're going to have more students come there. Let me get a piece of the cut. I don't know. It's probably in there in business. I don't really care. I don't care how they do it, why they do it. But if you put it this way, if you're watching TV and you hear the president say that and then say, hey, but if you get a degree from these colleges, the chances of you getting to land a six-figure job is blah, 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 and you do it, that's your problem. You could have just said, hey, well, I don't really believe that, and just stuck with your own brain. Some lawmakers have made the argument too. GOP Senator Tom Cotton wrote on Twitter that if Biden cancels student debt, taxpayers would have to pay the law schools of a lawyer earning $300,000. According to the do I want to read all that crap? Let me see. According to the Education Department of law student Okay. According to the Education Department, about 70% of law students leave with debt. Of course, all right. With the average amount totaling about 138,000. Okay, whatever. And a survey by the American Bar Association in 2020 found that debt from law school had caused some graduates to lie awake at night worried, leaving them in constant anxiety and stress that forced many of them to push off buying houses or getting married. You see that stuff they just threw in there? Constant anxiety. That's what happens when you're in debt. That only happens to debt slaves because you guys are on the negative side of the economy. When you're on the positive side, I sleep like a baby. Do you guys know that? Every night I sleep good like a baby. And I make sure, listen, I make sure it's 8 hours too, or if not more. I get my full amount of sleep. You know what kind of brain repair I get when I get that much sleep? Man, you guys don't even know. Your brain, did you know, just like your muscles, your brain needs time to repair itself because your brain controls everything. And you decide you're just not going to give it any time. No, I don't do any of that. My brain gets plenty of repair time. Believe that. Plenty of repair time. Hold on for a second. Plenty of repair time. You guys don't know. Neuroplasticity. Just look that up, okay? Look it up. Peterzani can attest to that. He said he had to put off buying a house and adopting a child. Wow, they just throwing it all in there for you guys. Oh my God, he had this. He didn't know that? While he hopes he can pay it off eventually, it's out of the question right now. He's never going to pay that off, ever. We don't even have enough money for rent next month. Whose fault is that, Peterzani? Yours. That's your fault. Paying off student loans is the last thing on my mind right now. I'm sure it is. It wasn't when you was going to school, though, right? When you was sitting down in those classes, learning from the teachers and stuff, it wasn't a problem then as long as they were paying. But now then when it's time to pay them back, that's a different problem. Bananas. I'm just here to share something with you. If you have given up on ever paying off your student loan debt, you're going to die a debt slave. You're die a debt slave. Done. Never understanding a word that I'm talking about. That I'm just here to tell you, okay? I found the psychological version of myself. That's who you're hearing on the mic today. That's me, combined with my physical self. That person that kind of, you know how people make you sound crazy if you got somebody talking in your head? Not what if the person that's talking in your head is telling you positive things? Is that crazy too? What if the person in your head is telling you positive things to do? That's not crazy. That's the psychological version of yourself. That person's trying to guide you to that person. Hey, go this way. Don't do that. Go over here. Go there. Don't go there. Just chill at home today. With that person that's always talking positive, that's the psychological version of yourself trying to guide you to it. That's why I'm here on the mic today. I always listen to that. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm doing, listen, that's why I'm doing something that nobody in the world does. Nobody in the world does what I do. Listen to my voice. You hear my voice? That sounds like factual information. That's 100% fact. Nobody does what I do. You can listen to me and say, who do we think he is? But is it true? Yes, it's true. Yes. Is it fact? Sure is. Yes. And if you're new to the channel, you're probably thinking, how come nobody has busted this guy or exposed him or just used? Because they can't, because they can't figure out, they have to figure out what I'm doing. The majority of people that come watch my videos, they have no idea what I'm doing, what I'm saying, or what my purpose is. They don't know. That's called, because I'm speaking what I call alienese. We speak a different language here at the SMD family. SMD is not me. SMD is a family. We have the gift of speaking two languages, regular English like you guys, and then alienese, a language you have no idea even exists because it's against the laws of mathematics for you two. With the psychological, I can, excuse me, 1 second. People that speak alienese, guess what? We just watch you, debt slaves. It's you. Giving up or paying off your student loan debt, cha-ching. Give up 30 years of your life for a mortgage, cha-ching. Can you add up your mortgage, your mortgage, say your mortgage balance plus your student loan balance, add them together and then put a negative sign in front of it. Let's just do those two alone, because millions of you guys have them. Get your mortgage balance and add it with your student loan balance, add them together, and then put a negative sign in front of it. Let's say those are your only two debts. That's how much it's going to cost to own yourself, the business of you. That's how much it's going to cost. These are the, hey, listen, these are the rules. I was born in the United States of America, and then I grew up and it said, they just say, these are the rules here. Taxes do this, you do that, and you report this and that. That's what you do. That's the name of the game. Okay, whatever. There's two sides to the economy. There's a positive side and there's a negative side. Debt slaves are the negative side. If you come to the positive side, you'll understand everything. Oh, okay, these are the rules. These are the laws. Don't do this, do that, do this. Don't hide that, put that there. Tell us where, okay, whatever. When you come to the positive side, let me give you an example. When you come to the positive side of business, you understand when you sell product in the system of the United States, you become a tax collector. So when you sell your product, they add the tax to the product and you collect the tax. So when you understand how it works, you use different words. You don't say, I'm paying taxes. You say, I'm passing taxes, because it's theirs. They say, hey, you sell your product for this, put this tax on it. You collect the tax from the debt slave, and then you give it to us. Okay, here you go. There you go. It's not a big deal. But debt slaves that don't own themselves personally, they carry those same habits over to business and start thinking the same way. Oh, I don't want to pay no taxes and this and that. That's wrong. Only debt slaves do that. And when you understand how it works, and when you own yourself, and especially when you find this, when you discover the psychological version of yourself, you realize time is priority. T-I, not the clock, not the time you see on that you guys go, the debt slaves go by. You guys go by that clock. I'm talking about time, the time here on earth, your time. That's going to expire. Everybody knows that. That's why you see graveyards. You see that graveyard you drive by every day going to work? Those people were like you. They were once walking earth, driving, going to work, doing the same thing, and now they're there. Your time here is limited. That becomes number one. And they specifically say the rules here in the United States say you could possibly go to prison if you do tax evasion. That's the rule. That's the law. And if you decide to do it anyway, your priorities are out of your priorities out of whack. You got money as number one and time is number two. That's wrong. Money's not worth more than time. Nope. Tax evasion, like when you come to the positive side of the economy, tax evasion is fucking with the spine of the whole thing. No, you can't do that. That's why you go to prison. That's the backbone. But then when you understand, you're like, oh, you don't even have to. No, taxes are you guys, debt slaves. Once you understand everything is you, taxes are you too. That's you. So when you say, hey, charge more taxes to the rich, you guys have no idea what you're saying when you say that. Oh, tax the rich. Taxes are only bad for you guys because it's you. Taxes help build wealth. They don't take taxes don't help taxes don't take away wealth. And when I say taxes, I'm talking about positive taxes. Taxes are positive and negative too. There's negative taxes and there's positive taxes. Always remember that. If you're using taxes, which is pretty much always in a mathematical statement, you have to know if you're talking about positive taxes or negative taxes. And if you go get a mortgage because you think you're throwing away money on rent and you're happy to write off the interest on a mortgage loan taxes, you're talking about negative taxes. Go $400,000 in debt so you can write off the interest of the mortgage off on taxes. That makes absolutely no sense. None. What's up, Brian? Luminoth, Reigning Woman. Jewel. Dark Knight. Going on. Scant. LJC, this is why you should never listen to family and friends on decisions on your life. Exactly. Don't. Because you guys, that's a very good statement, because as a debt slave yourself, you don't know who to listen to. When you speak alienese, we hear you guys. You guys don't know this exists, okay? There's a psychological part to capitalism that you don't know. It doesn't matter if you believe it or not. It's mathematically true, so it's true. You guys speak a certain way. You guys don't know there's people around you that speak alienese. We speak both languages. We speak debt and alienese because, again, I was once a debt slave, so I know how you guys talk. But I understand that what you guys are saying don't make any mathematical sense. Believing you're a homeowner with mortgages and stuff like that, believing you own the equity in a mortgaged house, you can't do any of that. None of that is true. You can't buy a house. Like, listen, if I went out to a crowd and said, hey, you can't buy a house with a mortgage, how many people you think would understand what I just said? Nobody. Maybe one or two people in the crowd, maybe. When you come across channels or people saying, hey, use other people's money, other people's money is called the bank's money. Because you guys speak as if you have a choice. You have no money. You have no choice but to borrow money. That's why using other people's money sounds so good, but you guys don't know that's exactly what they want you to do. Other people's money is the bank's money. But the bank knows that you are the money. It's you. It's not the paper that you think you're getting. The majority of you guys don't even use paper money anymore. Don't even use it. And let me tell you something. Once they go Once U.S. currency goes 100% digital, you guys are in trouble. You guys are in serious. You guys are in serious trouble. You know how hard it's going to be to bring a debt slave out of the debt matrix when paper goes away, because right now we're in the new economy. Paper money is in the way right now. It's just in the way. It's confusing things. It's messing things up, because you guys can take it and hide it and it's just confusing things. Once they go 100% digital, everything can be recorded. Everything. Every move you make will be recorded. Debt slaves, listen, you guys own nothing. Not even yourselves. You don't even own yourself. So everything you use to communicate, you don't even own it. You own none of that. Every text you send, you don't own nothing. Nothing. You don't own anything. I understand that. I know where I live. I know when I use my phone, I know I don't own the communication that is going through. I know that. I clearly understand that. Hey, listen, if I don't like it, I guess I just got to leave. That's like somebody's going to stay with you in your house for a week. And you say, okay, person, these are the rules. And that person in the house doesn't follow your rules. Do you think they're going to be staying the whole week? No, you're going to kick them out. Hey, man, the person comes over, say like the person that comes over, you're allowed to stay with them. You say, hey, man, you can sleep over my house for another week or two, man, just to clear things up, whatever, right? And that person's a smoker. You tell them, hey, by the way, you can't smoke in my house. And then all of a sudden you come downstairs and the person's smoking in your house. What would you do? That is the same thing. I know where I was born. What's up, Sherigan? SPIV. Many lawyers I know have accepted that they will be paying loans till they die. And that's exactly where they want you, debt slaves. What you don't understand is like, this is what people don't really understand. When they always say, speak something into existence, okay? Speak it into existence. What they're not telling you, you know who you're talking to? You're talking to the psychological version of yourself. So if you say that out loud, or you keep saying that into your head that you're going to die with student loan debt, guess what? That's what you're telling the psych, and you're never going to get there. Because in order to ever do what I'm saying to you, you have to own yourself. You cannot be owned. It should be illegal for someone to go into that much debt. Student debt, 100K should be the limit. See, now, doesn't that just make sense? That just makes sense, right? But since purchasing debt slaves directly is illegal, they have to be purchased a different way. Debt slaves have had, listen, debt slaves have had no money. The majority of debt slaves are born into debt. Their parents are in debt, their family and friends. Debt slaves don't know that they're born into debt. If you were born into it and everybody around you is in debt, of course you think that's normal. So when they start pushing college down your throat, hey, throughout your life, hey, when you go to school, man, you got a good grade. Start programming them early. You basically saying you're not going to be shit unless you go to college. That's what it basically says. You ain't going to be nobody. You're not going to get a job. These people make more money. Just throw it all in your head, but realizing the person's not, hey, but I don't have no money to go to college. Debt slaves don't think like that. They think, oh, there's an option. And just like every all of them, I'll get my degree, get the good job, and then I'll use that money to pay back the loan. Sure you will, debt slave. Sure. And you can borrow as much as that's a sign. You could just borrow as much money as you wish. Debt slaves don't know to say, hey, wait a minute, can you bankrupt this kind of debt? The answer is no. That should be a red flag right there. Red flag. That's how student loan debt is how debt slaves are purchased. That's how you purchase debt slaves, voluntarily. So true. Family actively trying to walk me into massive debt, master's program, getting a house, getting married, having kids. Mind you, I'm 31 and a conscious debt slave. See what I'm saying? Now, Jacquees, I want you to understand something. They don't speak, once you understand alienese, they don't hear what they're saying. Only you do. Don't even know what they're saying. What's up, Ulysses? Would rather rent until I can afford a house with no mortgage. And you know what's so crazy? If you don't have the money to buy the house in cash, there is no other option than to rent. And I'm not saying just to you, Jacquees. I'm just saying in general. Hold on. I'm not saying this to you, but debt slaves believe they have a choice when they hear that statement. Hey, stop throwing away money on rent. Unless you have money to buy your house in cash, you have no choice but to rent unless you want to live on the streets. If you don't have the cash to buy the house that you want, you have no choice but to rent or be homeless. Those are your two choices. There is no other choice. Debt slaves always try to shame us into home buying. You aren't building equity. You don't own the property at the end. Now listen. When debt slaves say that is a program, they don't know that they're running a program. They don't know that. You have to just ignore them when they talk like that. You just go, oh, okay. All right. Yeah. I'm throwing it. Okay. Well, I'm going to just continue. And this is how you got to, so they'll stop bothering you. You say to them just like this, I'm okay with throwing away money on rent. So they'll leave you alone. You have to say that. I know I'm not building equity. Okay. I know I don't own something at the end, at the whole end of paying. Just say, I know, and I accept it. That's what you say to a debt slave, because they will ramble on and on and on to try to convince you to be like them. To sell the next 30 years of your life for a house, for a mortgage. They want you to be like them. They don't know that. And when they talk about equity, they're talking about negative equity. They don't know that either. You can't own the equity in a mortgaged house. Both people, the bank and you, can't have positive equity. Only the bank can have positive equity. You have negative equity, debt slaves. Family members flex so hard on social media, but those conversations, once I see them in person, are sobering. Can't imagine being 50 plus begging for student loan forgiveness. Oh man, I'm going on 53 next month. There is no way. When I even imagine that in my mind right now, at this age, begging for student loan forgiveness. Ooh. I'll tell you one thing, if you're listening and you're in your 20s, this is what you got to stop thinking. Stop thinking your 50s are far away. Okay, stop thinking like that. Stop thinking, if you're in your 20s, stop thinking that 50's old. Okay, you got to, first of all, you are new to earth. It's you. You're brand new here. I've been here. You're new. 50's not old. I'm just here to tell you that. If you don't follow the people that are telling you to get in student loan debt and all this, if you don't follow them, You can become wealthy. Do you know that? Just don't do what they do. Don't do what your friends do. Don't believe what they show you on social media. Don't believe all your friends. They're in debt. Those are debt slaves doing all that shit. That's debt slaves. Don't follow that. Be on the positive. Listen, you come to the positive side of the economy. Then when you turn around and look at the stuff again, that's how you sell to debt slaves. They believe money looks like something. They believe money looks like a purse. They believe money looks like a hat. They believe money looks like shoes. They believe money looks like jewelry. Money doesn't have a look. Money doesn't look like anything. And when you have money, you can make it look like anything you want. Debt slaves believe that a multimillionaire doesn't drive a Honda Accord. That's what debt slaves believe. Debt slaves believe that multimillionaires don't drive regular cars. SBIV honestly, it says, honestly, pretty upset that the government keeps baiting student loan forgiveness. This doesn't allow people to properly prepare for their financial future. Soon as they tease more forgiveness, we we go out spending. And you got to remember that's all part of the program. That's on that. Those are your feelings about how it is, and that's what you got to make sure you grasp yourself. It's nobody's fault but the kid's parents. Once you understand this knowledge and you understand that capitalism is psychological, once you understand that, you're going to naturally teach your children. You're going to naturally do that. That's going to naturally happen. This is how it works, children. If you can start them when they're born and they grow up in it, guess what they're going to do? They're going to carry that on too. And then they look at student loans and say, oh no, my parents already told me about that. I knows what happened. They will already know. And then you'll see for what it is. That's how debt slaves are created. That's just how it works. I don't have any problem with it. I know the purpose of it. I understand its purpose. And it's all a choice. It doesn't when when I paid it, I kept my student loan paying. I kept my student loan debt for 10 years. I was all over the place for a minute there. 10 years. Whose fault is that? Mine. That's my fault. It wasn't the government's fault. It wasn't somebody should have told me something. No, it was my fault. Found out my aunt, who's 47, got one of those 40-year mortgages. But if you saw her Facebook, you'd swear she got cash. Yep. Unmarried too. She has no idea what she did. 40-year mortgages. Sold the time in her life, sold 40 years of the time in her life for a mortgage. Who I am today, to imagine having a relationship with the bank for 40 years, you got to be, no, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Nobody can predict that they're going to have that. You're just the thought of signing, like I think back in a debt slave when I was signing mortgage papers, right? I had no idea what type of mortgage I was getting, what I was signing. I just wanted the house and I wanted to be a so-called homeowner so bad so I can tell everybody around me that I am a homeowner and not a renter. Little did I know I was promising money every month that I didn't even know I was going to for the next 30 years of my life. Nobody can do that. Nobody came to me and said, "Hey, Linnell, you do know it doesn't take 30 years to buy a house. It just takes a day." I would have been like, "What do you mean it takes a day?" Because the only way to buy a house is with cash. There's no other way to buy a house. Everything else you hear is called financing. And if you go up to the bank asking for a mortgage, with student loan debt older than your children, you know what you're saying? I'm going to be a debt slave until I'm dead. Never owning nothing. Not, oh, mm, car loan, house loan, and other expenses. Definitely not freedom. It's bondage. Let me tell you something. The first certain things happen when you get out. When I was getting out of debt, I remember these things that just happened, right? When I finally got out of debt, I realized that monthly payments was keeping track of monthly payments was my fault. And I realized once I got out of debt, they were no longer there. You know how mind freeing that was? That was so mind freeing. I was like, oh God, it was a relief. And then at that moment, once I felt that relief, I said, what else can I do to get rid of monthly payments? So I went to my car insurance and I said, oh, I can pay it into six months in advance. Yeah. Okay, that's what I'm gonna do. Monthly payment gone. That's another one gone. Then I went on to my phone bill, did the same thing. I'm like, whoa, you guys have so many months. There is no way you could keep up with every single monthly payment ever. The banks know that. They know you can't. That's impossible. I can only imagine the late fees and interest that accrues. I can only imagine just the amount of money made in late fees and penalties over the limit penalties. All this, it's like they can like if you don't have enough money on your credit card and you slide it, it should decline. But for some miraculous thing, they let it go over. Why? So they could charge you a fee. They can cut that off. They can make say they don't even have a feature inside not that I know of to go in there and say, hey, if I reach my limit, decline the card. I don't think that's an option. They make so much money. Oh my God. And credit, listen, and credit's not even money. That's the crazy part about it. Credit is not even money. So every time you debt slave slide a credit card, you guys are financing the item and you're financing the taxes that go with that item. Say like you buy $1,000 item and with taxes it came up to 1,100. We're going to keep it simple. 1,100. You slide the card and you finance $1,100. You guys finance the taxes too. Oh, credit card companies. Oh man, you guys are killing the game. Making money out of thin air. That credit is not even money. Oh my God. Wow. Ulysses says, my granddad in his 70s got a double wide mobile mortgage in early 2000, and he still got like 10 to 15 years plus, 10 to 15 plus years on a diminished home. Total scam. Yep. Some leaders are crooks. You know, when you're on the positive side of the economy and you see the way the banks do it, it is just honestly, it makes me listen to symphony music because to watch it work, symphony music would be the perfect music to watch it move and the way it just does. It's crazy. They make you believe you buy a house with a 30-year mortgage, believe you own the equity, make you believe you're a homeowner, and make you believe you own the equity in it. And every time the appreciation happens, they make you believe it's yours. raise the appreciation, then they give you a call. Hey, look, your house appreciated. You have equity. You can pull out this much money, and you guys just do it. It's like a symphony. It is. It's just, mm. And you do it because you believe it's your house. You believe that. It's like, wow. I imagine myself in front of a table of those people that designed it, and I would just to be able to sit there and just first look at you guys and see you guys do something and say, uh, hey, I'm a homeowner, and you have a 40-year mortgage. I'm a homeowner. I would turn to them and say, how long did it take you guys to do that? To make them believe they're homeowners with mortgages. How long was that? How did you make them believe they got money inside of a mortgaged house? You guys named it what? We call that equity. Yeah, but they don't know there's a positive side and a negative side. When you pull out equity in a mortgage, that means that's called negative equity. Negative for you because you're paying interest on it, positive for the bank because the bank is receiving the interest from it. But the whole time, you believe it's yours. I'd be like, how long did that take? That couldn't have happened overnight. Stuff like that just doesn't happen overnight. That takes time to put that in place. You think if they like when they were financing cars back in the, let's say, 60s, you think they had 84-month car loans back in the 60s when they was really starting to, I don't know if that's the earliest when they started financing cars, but they would have at that time, they would have said, "Oh hell, be tied to a car for 8 years, 7 years?" No. But now you guys think it's normal. It's normal to finance a car for 84 months, if not more. When you knowingly, listen, when you knowingly finance an item that you know for a fact is going down in value, you have a psychological problem with your money. The majority of people who finance cars, they know cars go down in value. They know that. And you're going to finance it at an interest rate, something that goes down every time you use it. That's wrong. That's a no-no. You don't do that. Now listen to this very closely. You already know how fast a car goes down in value, right? Imagine a cell phone. Imagine the speed of rate that a cell phone goes down in value, and you guys finance them like it's normal. You guys believe it's normal to finance a cell phone. You don't have nobody around you to say, "Hey, what are you doing?" You don't know. You don't do that. You don't finance a cell phone. Don't and you definitely don't tell people that you finance the cell phone because there's people around that speak alienese. Did you guys know that? They're amongst you. They just don't talk to you. They don't talk to you about it because it's a very lonely. Well, when you're young, you think it's a lonely place, but it's not. It's not a lonely place. It's a beautiful place to not be around dead slave jibber jabber all day, every day. But when you're young, you're looking for friends and stuff and blah blah blah. I get it, totally get it. But I promise you, it's better to be alone. And when you guys talk about financing cell phones, especially especially when I see family members having iPhone 14s, I'm like, "Ooh, I know they financed them. Of course they did. They have no money." I'd be like, "Is that the new iPhone?" "Sure is." I was like, "Damn. Mm, you did not pay cash for no." "Is that the iPhone Pro Max?" "Yeah, I know for a fact you didn't pay cash for that phone. No way." Think how many people got the iPhone 14 Pro Max, the biggest bad boy, And then I want you to think to yourself, think of a friend that has that phone. And then this is what I want you to do. I want you to go look up how much it costs how much that phone costs to buy it. Okay. Go look it up. Go to Apple's website. Go look it up. And then I want you to think to yourself, does this friend of mine have $1,200 to buy an iPhone in cash? No. Then you know their phone is financed. Here's another giveaway. If their phone is branded with the carrier name, their phone is financed. Because people with money buy factory unlocked iPhones. Factory unlocked, that means no carrier's name is on it, no carrier software is in it. You guys say, "Oh my God, my phone slows down because of all this carrier software." Because you financed your phone. Since you financed your phone, you're going to get their apps. They get to listen. They get to dictate the software that goes on the phone that they finance to you. They get to that's their phone. So if you get a Verizon phone, you're going to have Verizon software. Like if you get a phone from Verizon, you're not going to have AT&T software. You're going to have Verizon software. You're going to you get it if you finance it through AT&T, you're going to have AT&T software. What you guys don't know is because you don't know this because you don't have the money to buy a phone in cash. But there's factory unlocked phones with nobody's name or any software on it but what comes from the factory. That's it. If we see your phone and it's the latest phone and you don't have a car, I know your phone is financed. Imagine how fast that goes down in value in a finance phone. That's bananas. Mm. And if you're in a student loan, oh man, that's why those articles are like that. Pick a person with the biggest amount of student loan debt so you can feel good about yours. Again, I don't care. Listen, I'm just telling you guys something. I don't care. I don't think it's wrong. I don't think student loan debt is bad. I don't think anything. I think it's just business to me. I just look at it as business. It's just business. You don't have to be in student loan debt. You have to work to pay it off. You got to pay it off. That's the only way you're getting out of it. You have to pay your student loan debt off. If you ever listen, if you ever want to find the psychological version of yourself, you must first own yourself physically. You have to own yourself physically to ever let that happen. If you ever want that to happen, you must first own yourself. Your credit report, you got to this is what you got to see. This is a hard thing to accept, but you have to accept it if you ever want to be on the positive side of our economy. You have to look at your credit report. That's your credit report is the owner's ledger. Now, I want you to also understand something here too. What I'm about to tell you is called alienese. Well, I call it that, okay? Alienese. What I'm about to tell you, debt slaves can't understand what I'm talking about, even though I'm speaking English. From this point on, they won't understand what I'm saying, okay? I'm only talking to you if you are a person that truly wants to own yourself, the business of you, okay? If you ever want to own yourself, the business of you, I strongly suggest you listen. Credit reports are owner ledgers. They're made to keep track of how many businesses own that debt slave. So when they look at the credit report and see they have pages and pages of owners, they know they're our own debt slaves. They're owned by all those businesses. Once you become debt free, there's nothing on there. They're all zeros and that's a clear indication that you now own yourself. That's how you know other people if they own themselves or not. Once you get to zero and own yourself, you now become on the positive side of our economy. That's the only time you profit. Once you come on the positive side, you will see that taxes help build wealth because you're on positive side of taxes, not the negative side of taxes. Once you come over here owning the business of yourself, say like this, and people don't know this either. You come on the positive side and say, and you start now. Business debt is not a bad thing. That's a positive thing. If you own the business of yourself first, you go get a loan. The first thing they're going to do is run your credit, and then they're going to see that you have no owners. And with money in the bank, that means you're going to that tells the bank that you obviously know how it truly works. They will immediately know that if you're coming to get a loan, you're going to use it for the specific purpose that you said in the business plan or whatever you do. This is how you'll get respect from the banks when you need business loans. They're going to run your credit, even though you're not going to do a personal guarantee. You're not supposed to do that, but they're going to run your personal credit anyway. And once they see you have no owners from your ledger, it will show the bank that you have no owners. They will know immediately that you own yourself and treat you accordingly, like a person that speaks alienese, because that's what I'm doing right now. They have no idea. Even people in business have no idea what I'm talking about. The majority, what you guys cannot see, the majority of people that are in business are in personal debt. So that means they're going to treat the business the same way they treat the business of themselves. You will be able to easily see those type of people in business and accelerate well past them without them ever knowing how you're doing it. They won't even know. Even if you tell them why, because they don't speak alienese. So there's no reason to talk about it. Everything's financed. They even let you finance $100 item on Amazon. What the? They let you finance $100. Oh my God. That means things are getting bad. I was matter of fact, you know what? I was paying my AAA membership fee yesterday. Do you know there was an option to pay my membership fee in payments? That was bananas. Now, my payment, I pay it by the year, so it was $157, right? When I was going to pay it, I had an option, pay in full or make payments. I was like, what? Make payments on my AAA? Oh my God, they're just killed. But I tell you, do you pay things yearly than monthly insurance tax? Yes, everything that will allow me to do that. Everything I pay, I say, can I do it yearly? My phone, electricity, you can't. I'm not talking about utilities, but just things of that nature. Everything I can to do it yearly, my insurance, car insurance, everything. Yes, they do. Buy now, pay later. SMD is a family. I'm LJ, and I'm part of that family. I'm not SMD. People call me SMD all the time. And I know what they mean because they think I'm it. But SMD is a family. It's not just me. I'm just here to help you come to the positive side of the economy. But this is psychological though, okay? So you have to own yourself first. There's a psychological piece that you'll never be able to see if you don't own yourself. You have to own yourself first. Once you own yourself, you'll be able to see it. Now, many of you, it would be it's a reality check. You would have to change your whole life. That's why you guys resist it. Because if you decided to believe what I'm telling you, you would know that house is not yours. You would know the car or cars are not yours. You would know the furniture is not yours. You would know the washer and dryer is not yours. You would know your brand new bed set is not yours. Everything, listen, everything that you're making payments on is not yours. That's why you're making payments, because it's not yours. Payments are red flags that you're not the owner because you're making payments what? To the owner. That's what you're making payments to. Those are red flags because owners don't make payments. That's what makes them owners. I'm gonna be making statements that like you've never heard before in your life. The bank has nothing to do with becoming a homeowner. Did you know that? That's called alienese. The banks don't have anything to do with becoming a homeowner. Nothing. Now debt slaves are like, what? What? Now, the people that can hear me, now imagine the millions of debt slaves that will be listening to a video like this and say, what do you mean the bank has nothing to do with being a homeowner? What are you talking about? Know why they're confused? That's the psychological part of psychological capitalism. Even though I'm saying a mathematical truth, they have no idea that it's a mathematical truth, not a clue. They don't even know. Because I know the housing market couldn't exist without you, debt slaves, you. If you live in one of those new community neighborhoods that they built, I want you to go ask your neighbors, see if everybody has a mortgage in there. Hey, you got a mortgage? Do you have a mortgage? I guarantee you everybody in there will have a mortgage. That's why they build those communities for you guys. All the time owning nothing. Absolutely nothing. It's just crazy to watch. SPIV says, arguing with people about paying off debt rather than investing, keep hearing return on investment will exceed student loan interest, so might as well defer. And always hear that that's part of the program. And if you're arguing with people in public, that means you're pulling down your mask in public. I don't do that. That's like arguing with a debt slave saying 1+1 = 3, and then you're trying to tell, no, it doesn't. I wouldn't argue with a person like that. Nah, man, 1+1 = 3. Yes, it does. Okay, well, okay, see you later. Enjoy your life. Mm. Sometimes I think back and I'd be like, damn, that was me. I was a debt slave, man. Ooh. I think here, let me take a little bit walk into my life as a debt slave, but with this new knowledge, okay, of this. But I'm going back with the psychological version of myself this time, and I'll think about the headaches of keeping up with bills. I remember always getting late fees because I always missed due dates because all the due dates were different for different bills. It was just bananas. I and I didn't write any of those dates down. I just thought I could remember them. Oh, I'll remember to pay that, and I always forgot. That would have never happened. I would have got none of that. Relationships that I was in, I would have never dated any woman that was a debt slave. I would have never did. Are you in debt? You making car payments? Yeah, we can't have a relationship. Nope. Mm-mm. I don't care what you look like. If you're making, listen, it could be the baddest chick because you guys understand when you find the psychological version of yourself, you control sex. Sex no longer controls you as a man. Men don't even know how powerful that is. You guys have, let me tell you something. You have no idea how powerful it is when you are in control of your sex drive. The whole everything changes. Everything. Women can feel that energy that you don't do what every other man does. You just don't do that because you control your sex drive. It's different. things would have been just out. The relationships, there's relationships I think in my mind that would have never happened ever. Um, I would have strictly treated jobs like the tools that they are. A job is a tool. A job is a tool to make money. But if you're there for 15, 20 years, you start naturally being friends with other people like you in debt that need a job. The majority of people that have jobs because they have to have jobs, not because they want jobs. So when you become friends with people at work, that's what just happens. You guys have that in common. You guys need jobs. Because think about it. You could be at a job for 10, 15 years, right? And say like you quit to go to another job. How many of those people that you thought you were good friends, how many of those people that you're still in contact with? Probably not many, maybe one, maybe. That should tell you the reason why you guys had a friendship, because you had the job in common. That's why. That's why you're not still friends with all those people today. Now that right there, man, let me tell you guys something. You guys don't even see from the positive side of the economy. That move right there was one. That's like a checkmate move right there. Remove while student loan debts were in pause, they removed student loan debt off of people's credit reports temporarily, of course, which allowed their credit score to go up. And what do you think debt slaves are going to do when their credit score increases? Go get in debt. That move right there. Because I had a couple of clients that told me they had student loan debt. And then when I looked at their credit reports, they didn't have no student loan debt. I was like, didn't you tell me you had student loan debt? Yeah. Well, how come it's not showing? They were like, I don't know. I was like, why would they do that? Because I knew they wasn't going to just remove it to delete it. I knew it was going to be there, but I was like, why are they removing it? Now I know why. So you guys do exactly what you guys go get houses and cars and phones and jewelry and clothes and washing. Oh, let me hurry up and do it before they put it back. And crossing your fingers, hoping that they won't put it back. I can only imagine how many people are crossing their fingers, hoping those credit reports don't come, those student loan debt doesn't come back on their credit report. You guys are dreaming. They're coming back. Next iPhone will have no headphone charger port. What? So you have to buy AirPods and expensive charging dock. Wow. And you know what else, debt slaves? You guys are going to finance the privilege too. You guys are going to finance that privilege. Because once they have you hooked, especially Apple users, congratulations, Apples. You got when Apple users, you know, you're not getting them away from an iPhone. They won't care what Apple does. They're going with it, and they're going to finance the privilege. They sure are. Congratulations, Apple. Congratulations. Because I remember when at first I was an iPhone user many years ago in the early days. But the minute this is what happened. First, they took away the headphone jack. I was like, maybe I wanted the headphone jack. And then when the power cords used to always tear up really bad back then for some reason, I was like, man, but this doesn't make any sense. But anyway, I remember going to get a power cord for my phone and plugged it in and said, this is not an Apple approved I was like, fuck no, I'm off. You're not dictating my power cords now. No, I'm leaving. That's enough. And then I left. Never looked back. I mean, finance, exactly. Lottery Guru says, LJ, love the interview with Fresh. Now we just need you on the show next. On the show next, you'll definitely surprise the world with this information. You know what? That'd be cool. I hope it happens. But we'll see. Because you got to remember that channel was about women and relationships. People come there for, and I'm not saying anything negative. Sex sells. Okay, I want everybody to understand sex sells. All you have to do is just go through Fresh and Fit's catalog, go look at their Money Mondays or their money whatever, right? Those are the lowest viewed videos. You know why that is? Because they don't want to understand any of that shit. There's very few people that really want to understand. Very few. So their money is generated from the sex videos with the girls and blah blah. No, I mean not sex, but sexual videos. That's what that's where the money is. I totally understand. It's just business. I don't really watch that stuff because that's not where I'm at. And it has nothing to do with my age. It has everything to do with my mind. Andre says, what are the chances Myron would go for that? I know. I know what you're saying by that, Andre. I definitely know what you mean by that. No, no. Oh, because like this. One time I was watching the Fresh and Fit show, right? And I hear Myron talking about the properties and stuff he owns. But what he's not telling you, what I think he is telling you, those are finance properties. Now, I don't want you guys he's talking about business debt too. I want you guys to understand. Math doesn't care what you're talking about, but I'm telling you guys that it's called business debt. Debt is debt. You still don't own it. If you have a loan for a property or whatever, you still don't own the property, okay? You just manage the property. But anyway, that's business debt. That's different because here's the difference between business debt and personal debt. Personal debt, you pay back. Business debt, your customers pay back, okay? To me, maybe consciously, unconsciously, taking advantage of the fact that you guys don't know the difference between business debt and personal debt. Robert Kiyosaki does it. All the big people do it. They all do. They don't tell you there's a difference because they wouldn't make any money because you guys have no money. You guys will borrow the money to do whatever program that they're telling you to do. I don't know, Andre. I don't know if it would go viral on the channel like that. I just don't. I just think it would probably be one of the lowest viewed videos on Fresh and Fit. Student loans won't come back until the mortgages are made. Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right. Yeah, that would be wrong. That's when they're coming back. So that means pretty much they're going to pretty much ram you guys into these houses over the next 8 months. But they have to do something because if they get the debt slaves into the mortgages and then they reinstate student loan debt, they would immediately lose the houses because they would no longer be able to afford the mortgage. So that would also be bad too. So they must, within this 8-month time span, they must going to be introducing something else in there. They're going to do something. They have to. Student loans. Oh, okay. Yeah, they would have to do something because if they get all the debt slaves into the mortgages, believing they're homeowners, all that stuff, right? When student loan payments resume, they're not going to be able to afford the mortgage payments, so they're not going to have a choice but to let it go. And that would be very bad for the bank. So something in my mind, something has to happen between now because there's multiple things going on. They're building storage facilities like crazy. Okay. They know something's about to happen, is happening, or currently happening because their storage facilities are being built. Tearing down. Next thing you know, tear down a huge space and it's a storage facility. It's like, whoa, why are you doing all that? QJC says Biden administration continues to kick the student loan repayment can down the road. Nothing personal, just and they're not ready. I think they're pushing it because they're not ready for something. Things are not in place quite yet. Oh shit. Oh shit. Wow, that's right. God damn. I swear, I tell you, I swear, I feel like listening to symphony music when I just watch how this works. You guys are going to refinance the houses. Oh my God. So they're going to shoot the value of houses up, bring the interest rates of mortgages down, and the people that are in these houses will refinance the house and use the refinance money to live. Oh, and use the refinance money to make the mortgage payments. Oh my God. Oh my God. Listen to me. If you refinance your house and you're making the mortgage payments with the refinance money, if you're using that money to pay down your credit cards, oh, see, if I had some symphony music right now, I would play it. This is one of those moments where you listen to symphony music. You understand it now. You just when you're not into that music, you're like, why would anybody just sit there and watch them play? Now I get it. I totally get it. I get it. Wow. House hacking. Yep, house hack. Listen, Deslays, when I hear house hacking, you know that is the biggest program ever. Hey, buy the whole townhouse, live on one side, have a renter on the other. Oh, do you guys know that's a program? That is a program. That is not true. None of that's not true. Say like you're a person that believes you can do that. But you have student loan debt older than the townhouse that you're about to do. The bank already knows that when you came and got a loan for the townhouse. They knew that you didn't even take care of the business of yourself. You have an old student loan. You have an old student loan that you haven't even taken care of. They're about to financially abuse you. Mm. Mm, mm, mm. I was wondering how they were going to keep them in those houses when the student loan payments resumed. That is plenty of time for the houses that they get in to appreciate. So the houses will appreciate by the time student loan payments resume, and they're going to refinance and pay their mortgage, student loan. Oh my God. Congratulations to the bank. Congratulations to the bank. I was wondering how these debt slaves was going to keep these houses. That's why they're building so many. Oh my God. They're about to kill the game. That's exactly what you debt slaves are going to do. You're going to refinance, pull out the equity because you believe it's yours, and you're going to give that money right back to them with interest. Interest from the refinance and interest from the loan payment, the mortgage loan payment. Oh, fuck me, man. God. That is like just stupid money. That's just like so stupid money. Just stupid money. You guys are going to give it right back to them. Hey, pay your car off. Take that refinance money and pay your car off. Give it right back to them. And then you get to keep that. Here you are. You'll pay off the car with the refinance money, and then you'll go around and tell everybody that your car is paid off. Oh my God. I remember when I was a debt slave and I heard somebody do that. Oh yeah, I refinanced my house and paid off my cars. I thought to myself, something doesn't make sense there. That doesn't. The only way you got to pay off your cars, you had to refinance the house first. That doesn't make. That didn't make. I didn't know how to answer it at that particular time. I just knew it didn't make sense. Okay, I just knew it. I just didn't know why it didn't make sense. Now I do. Wow. You make it make it so plain. And so, you know what's so crazy, Brian? Let me tell you something. You guys think I'm making it sound plain when it is that plain. It is. I'm not really trying to do anything. I want you guys to understand. When you understand what I'm telling you, truly understand, and when you see what it really is, you're going to be so mad at yourself. You're going to be mad at yourself for a while. Okay, you'll get over that. It's just part of the process. But once you see, you're going to be like, that's all. Yeah, all I had to do was trust the calculator. That's it. Here you are back in the day. You're looking at sport. Like a lot of you guys look at sports players and you see their contract and you guys think that's a lot of money. Ooh, millions and millions. You think you guys really believe that's a lot of money? Just dreaming. You just look at everything different. For example, when I look at, like, say, this is what I picture. If I get a hold of a rookie that's about to go into pro, if they find me first, you guys have no idea what I could do with somebody at that age. With that man, you guys have no idea. Trust me, I'm mad. I trust the calculator. Not always trust the calculator, Brian. You ever want to be rich? Just all you gotta do is trust the calculator. People don't know that. People think becoming rich is a secret. No, calling it a secret makes it a secret. It's not a secret. It's only math. It's the calculator. All right, I've been on here for 2 hours. I'm about to get out of here. I got an appointment coming up. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. Thank you, Andre, for always. Andre, my friend, my mentor. Appreciate you, man. Always making things connect. I appreciate it. That neuroplasticity, that's connected in my brain now. Can't undo it now. Again, SMD helps you find the psychological version of yourself. That person in the head that's always telling you positive things, but you don't listen to it. I'm talking about that voice right there, the positive voice. I help you find it. That's you trying to lead you to it. It's trying to help you find it. That's what it is. Okay? I help you do that by helping you own yourself first. In order to ever do that, you have to own yourself first. That's what I do. I help you own yourself first, and then you have the rest. SavingsMinusDebt.com is the my website if you want to sign up for a consultation. My Cash App is SavingsMinusDebt, and if you want to email me, SavingsMinusDebt@gmail.com. All right. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful day. Have a good one.